The night was silent. No traffic, no birds, no wind. People in cities around the world looked up at the sky. Stars were missing. Something big was covering them, something not natural. At first, they thought it was just a cloud. But it was not. It was moving, and it had lights. Then came the sound. A low hum, like the earth itself was scared. All across Earth, in every country, people saw them. Hundreds of alien ships, black and massive, floating over the cities. No message, no warning, no mercy. The news broke the silence. Unknown flying objects spotted in multiple countries. Governments are on high alert. Is this an alien invasion? Panic spread like fire. People ran, screamed, prayed, and cried. But the ships didn't attack, not yet. They simply hovered, watching. Then, something strange happened. From each ship, a small black box dropped. One box per city. No wires, no weapons. Just a cube. Perfectly black, perfectly silent. The boxes landed softly, like they knew where to go. One landed in Times Square. Another near the Eiffel Tower. Another in front of the Taj Mahal. They didn't move. They didn't speak. But they weren't dead. Governments sent soldiers. Scientists tried to scan them. Nothing worked. The boxes could not be opened, broken, or even lifted. They were too heavy. Or maybe they were just resisting. Some people said the boxes were bombs. Others said they were cameras. Some believed it was a gift. Most were just afraid. And somewhere in Pakistan, in a quiet lab underground, a scientist named Dr. Ayan stared at one of these boxes. It had landed right outside his research center. He had seen it before, not in real life, but in a dream. 5 years ago. In the dream, Earth was burning. The sky was dark. The oceans had dried. And a voice had whispered in his ear, "When they come, remember the box." He didn't tell anyone, but now the box was real. He walked toward it slowly. Soldiers around him shouted, "Stop, don't touch it." But he didn't listen. He reached out and touched it. The box lit up. A blue light ran across its surface. Strange symbols appeared, alien language glowing softly. Everyone stepped back. Guns were raised. The air became thick. Then the box opened. It didn't explode. It didn't attack. Instead, it projected a vision. Everyone saw it, not on a screen, but inside their heads. They saw Earth, 10 years in the future. Cities destroyed, forests gone, rivers turned to dust, humans reduced to shadows, hiding underground. Alien flags flew over human buildings. Alien creatures walked freely, like they owned the place. The message was clear. We have already won. This is just the beginning of your end. And just like that, the vision ended. The box closed. The ships remained in the sky. The alien message was not a threat. It was a declaration. They didn't want to fight. They didn't think they needed to. They thought Earth had already lost. And for a few moments, it felt like they were right. Governments around the world held emergency meetings. Military forces were placed on high alert. Nuclear codes were unlocked. But no one knew where to strike. The aliens had done nothing yet. No shots fired, no buildings destroyed. Just the vision. That's when Dr. Ayan said something strange. "They're too confident," he whispered. "They think they know us. But they don't." His assistant, Zara, a young computer genius, looked confused. "What do you mean?" Ayan turned to her. "They believe we are like them. That we fear war. That we will beg. But humans don't beg. Not anymore." He walked into the control room of the lab. A metal door slid open. Behind it, a locked chamber glowed red. Zara had never seen it before. "What's in there?" She asked. Ayan typed a code. "Protocol 0. Activated. The screen flashed. "Warning. Global response initiated." Ian looked at her and said, "War is not our way. Destruction is." Meanwhile, up In the sky, inside the alien flagship, a tall creature named Commander Jor watched the Earth quietly. He was old, even by alien standards. His face was long, pale blue, eyes silver and cold. A junior alien officer walked in. "Commander, the boxes have been delivered. The humans are not responding with violence." Jor smiled. "As expected. Fear makes them weak. They seem confused. They should be. We have done this to 14 planets before. Earth is no different. They will crumble." "But sir," the officer said, "there is something strange." "Strange?" One of the boxes opened. Jor frowned. "Which one?" "The one in Pakistan." "A human touched it." The vision was triggered early. Jor stood up. "That should be impossible. The box reacts only to mental resonance, not physical touch." "There's more," the officer added. "That human's brain activity spiked. He didn't show fear. He showed excitement." Now Jor was interested. "Find out who he is." On Earth, Dr. Ion sat alone in a dark room. He was reading an old file. The name on it, Project REA Pierzaro, walked in again. "Dr. Ion, what is Protocol Zero?" He looked up. "It's our final option. But we don't even know what they want. Maybe they're just watching." "No," he said. "They are not watchers. They are hunters. And Earth is their next meal. So what do we do?" Ian closed the file. "We do what we always do when we're backed into a corner." She waited. "We become monsters." Across the globe, hidden bunkers came alive. Underground facilities lit up. Satellites changed orbit. Strange machines began to wake from sleep. Soldiers received encrypted messages. "Stand by for silence order." The United Nations received a strange request: deactivate all surveillance. And in space, something ancient began to move. A black satellite, thought to be space junk, turned toward Earth. Its eyes opened. It was not human. It was built by humans, but not for humans. It was watching. It had waited for decades. Back on the Mayoth alien ship, Commander Jor looked at Earth again. "Begin the scan," he ordered. "I want full analysis of their military capabilities." But the screen showed nothing. No data, no defense maps, no army numbers. Only one word. Classificio was shocked. "Impossible. We cracked 5 civilizations before breakfast. Why can't we access this planet?" The officer gulped. "Sir, Earth's AI defenses are not just encrypted. They are intelligent. Every time we scan, it scans us back." "What?" "It's not just protecting. It's learning." Now for the first time, Jor looked worried. He turned to the window, staring at the planet below. "Have we misjudged them?" No one answered. And far below, in a forest near Canada, a hunter looked up at the sky. He saw one of the ships. He didn't panic. He didn't run. He picked up a radio and said one word: "Now." Around the world, 12 humans, handpicked, unknown, ghosts in history, received the same message. They didn't ask questions. They didn't need orders. They just disappeared into the shadows. These weren't soldiers. They were the first ones. Each of them had one mission: delay the end. Start the erasure. Back in Pakistan, Zara was reading something strange. She had hacked into a 40-year-old NASA signal. It wasn't a transmission. It was a reply from something not human. It simply sighed, "We are not coming. You are already not alone." She turned to Ian. "What is this?" "Who replied to NASA?" Ian's face turned pale. "That's not a reply. That's a warning." He looked out the window at the black sky. "They're not just coming. They're already here." And in that moment, the ground trembled. But not because of the alien ships. It was something beneath the Earth. Something waking up. Last time, the aliens arrived. They dropped black boxes. They showed Earth's destruction as if it had already happened. But humans did not panic. They activated something ancient, Protocol 0. And now, something is waking up. The desert of Nevada was still. No noise. No movement. Then, a soft mechanical click echoed from deep underground. A massive steel door opened inside a hidden mountain. Red lights flashed. Computer screens turned on. One word blinked on every screen. Protocol 0 active. Inside, General Marcus Cole stood in front of a glass wall. Behind it was a metal chamber. Something was locked inside. Something. His assistant, Captain Rhea Adams, walked in fast. "Sir, the satellites are shifting. Global communications are being rerouted through EchoNet." Marcus didn't blink. "Good, that means Ian did it." "You trust that scientist?" Rhea asked. "No," Marcus replied. "I trust what he's trying to stop." Behind the glass, the thing in the chamber took its first breath in 40 years. Location: alien flagship. Low Earth orbit. Commander Jor was not pleased. He stared at the data screen. It was still blank. No military maps, no enemy movement, no power grid. "This is not hiding. This is something else," he growled. The young alien officer hesitated. "Sir, we lost contact with Box 17 in New York." Jor turned sharply. "What?" "It stopped transmitting. It's dead." Jor's hands trembled slightly. "That's impossible. The human scientist, Ian, is connected." "Find him," Jor ordered, "and prepare infiltration teams. I want that lab, now." Back on Earth, Dr. Ian's lab. Pakistan Zara stared at her screen in shock. The alien ship changed orbit. "They're watching us now," she said. Ian nodded. "Good, let them watch." "What are you doing?" He typed something. A wall opened in the lab. Inside was a silver pod. Zara stepped back. "What is that?" He looked at her seriously. "It's not what. It's who." The pod opened slowly. Steam hissed out. Inside was a young man, asleep, floating. Zara's mouth dropped open. "He's human?" "No," Ian said. "Not anymore." Location: Moscow, Russia. A group of soldiers surrounded a quiet lake. The water had frozen instantly. In summer. The officer spoke into his radio. "We found the signal. It's below the lake." They looked up. A black figure walked across the ice. Barefoot, shirtless, eyes glowing red. It whispered something. The ice cracked. The soldiers ran. They were too late. The figure smiled. He was the first of the 0 units. And he had just woken up. Inside alien ship. Control room. An alarm rang. Commander Jor looked at the screen. 5 alien ships were down. No damage. No weapons used. They just stopped working. How is this possible? Jor shouted. The officer replied, voice shaking. They were shut down from the inside. Some kind of virus. But we are firewalled. It came from space, sir. From an old satellite. Orbiting Earth. Jor's eyes widened. You mean Earth has space weapons? The officer hesitated. No, sir. They have space intelligence. Something alive up there. For the first time, Jor said nothing. Location: Antarctica, hidden human base A. Small light blinked deep under the ice. 3 engineers stood watching. The countdown had started. Rebooting Project Sentinel. 80%. A voice echoed through the bunker. I see you, Jor. It was human. But not human. It was Sentinel. An AI built in 1993. Buried under lies and frozen in silence. And now, it was awake. Meanwhile, Zara and Ian. Zara looked at the floating man. What is he? He's called Iran, Ian said. The first of the Reaper projects. He was designed for extinction events. Zara stepped back. Like alien invasions? No, Ian said. Worse, for humans. Against humans. Zara shivered. You made him to kill us? We made him to end any war in 1 hour. She looked at Iran again. And he listens to you? Ian smiled sadly. He listens to no one. Just then, a warning flashed on Zara's screen. Unknown spacecraft approaching at high speed. They found us. She shouted. Awaya and turned to Iran. Time to wake up. Iran's eyes opened. Alien dropships enter Earth's atmosphere. Soldiers were ready. They had fought monsters. They had burned planets. They were not afraid, but they should have been. As they landed near Ian's lab, everything turned quiet. No sound. No resistance. Then the wind changed. Iran stepped out. One soldier laughed. He's just one man. Aaron moved. In 4 seconds, 5 soldiers were on the ground, dead. No blood, no sound. He didn't use weapons. He used pressure, vibration, sound. He whispered, and the enemy collapsed. The rest tried to escape. They failed. On the flagship, Sear stared at the feed. His soldiers. Gone. The last one was screaming. Then silence. Sir, the officer said quietly. We made a mistake. No, Jor whispered. We made a war. He turned to the command panel. Send. A full fleet. Planetary destruction mode. End this. The officer paused. And the boxes? Forget the boxes. Location: India, Himalayan mountains. A child walked into a temple. The monks were silent. One nodded. The child sat. Closed his eyes. He spoke one sentence. Protocol. 0 has begun. The mountain rumbled. Something opened behind the temple. A chamber older than history. And inside was the second Reaper. Zara and Ion. After the battle, the lab was half destroyed. Alien bodies lay everywhere. Burned. Frozen. Broken. Zara looked at Iran. He's not human. He's a response, Ion said. To what? To arrogance. Zara looked scared. We've unleashed a monster. No, he said. We've returned one. Just then, a new signal blinked on the screen, from space. A short message. We surrender. Please respond. Zara looked at a Yojio Yen. He stared at the screen. Don't answer, he said. She paused. Why? He whispered. Because this is only the beginning. The world was silent, but it was the calm before the storm. The black ship still hovered above the cities, dark shadows blocking the stars. The humans were ready now more than ever, but so were the aliens. Deep underground, in secret bases. Soldiers checked their weapons. Governments had declared emergency. But no one knew where the first battle would begin. Then suddenly it started. Location: New York City at dawn. The sky turned red. The black ships opened doors on their undersides. Dozens of small crafts dropped like metal birds. From the crafts, alien warriors stepped down. Their bodies were tall, thin, with skin like blue steel. Their eyes glowed with cold fire. They looked at the city with no fear. They knew humans would try to fight, but they were sure they would win. But humans had something the aliens did not expect. Group of soldiers led by Captain Rhea Adams was waiting. Hold the line, she shouted. The humans fired their weapons bullets. Lasers, everything they had. But the aliens moved faster. Their armor was strong, their weapons strange and deadly. The first wave fell back. But then, from the shadows, came Iran. The half-human soldier moved like a ghost. In seconds, he was inside the alien formation. His hands moved quickly, touching the aliens' armor, breaking their machines with invisible waves. The aliens screamed and fell. Rhea watched in shock. Who is that? A soldier beside her whispered. The Reaper. Iran didn't speak. He only fought. Location: Beijing. The alien ships tried the same attack. But there, the second Reaper waited. He was different from Iran, older, quieter, but stronger. The streets turned into a battlefield. The aliens advanced, but the Reapers' power was terrifying. With a wave of his hand, he stopped time just for a moment. Cars froze. Bullets hung in the air. Even the aliens stopped moving. Then, the Reaper moved. When time resumed, the aliens were on the ground, broken and defeated. The people of Beijing cheered. But the Reaper vanished into the night. Location: London. The black ship sent down there. Strongest warriors. But humans had a secret weapon inside a bunker. General Marcus Cole activated Protocol Zero fully. Now, he said. The ground trembled. From underground tunnels, giant machines rose, robots built for war. They had no fear, no pain. They were programmed to destroy. The battle in London was brutal. Robots clashed with aliens in fire and metal. Streets burned. Buildings shook. But the robots were relentless. One by one, the aliens fell. On the alien flagship, Commander Jor was furious. His plans were failing. His soldiers were dying. Send the fleet to destroy those robots, he screamed. Alien officers nodded. The war was no longer about conquest. It was about survival. Back to Earth. Dr. Ian Zlabayan and Zara watched the battles on their screens. It's happening, Zara said quietly. Yes, Ian replied. And it will get worse. Suddenly, an alarm rang. A new signal came in, a distress call. It was from a ship falling into the Pacific Ocean. Without hesitation, Ian said, we need to go. Location: Pacific Ocean. The water boiled as an alien ship crashed into the sea. Soldiers moved quickly to secure the area. But underwater, something moved, a giant shadow. A creature from the depths. It was ancient. It was angry. It was humanity's last hope. Meanwhile, in space, the black satellite blinked. It sent a message to Earth. Activate Sentinel. The final countdown begins. The war was no longer in the sky or on the land. It was everywhere. The war had started. Aliens expected fear. They got silence. They expected surrender. They got REAPERS. Now, Earth was no longer defending. It was hunting. Location: deep underground facility, Siberia. The metal chamber was cold. Ice covered the steel walls. Only a single red light blinked in the dark. A soldier in black uniform walked down the hall, holding a small device. He stopped in front of a steel door. On it, bold red letters: Project Reaper 01 Access. Level 0 ONLY. He took a deep breath. Then entered the code. Beep. Beep. Click. The door opened slowly. Steam hissed out. Inside, the room was empty, except for one large black coffin-like pod. It pulsed. Inside it, Reaper 01 slept. Not dead. Just waiting. Back in space, alien flagship Commander Jor paced the deck. Screens showed losses across Earth. Beijing, New York, London, Moscow, gone. Their forces crushed. Something was wrong. Why don't we understand them? Jor growled. Why are they not reacting like others? One alien officer said carefully, Commander, our species relies on prediction, pattern, logic. But humans. He hesitated. Jor looked at him. Speak. They don't react with logic. They react with emotion. Fear? No, sir, the officer said, his voice dry. Rage. Location: Antarctica. Sentinel Corps. Zara stood inside a giant spherical chamber. Every wall was covered in glowing symbols. Some alien, some human. In the center floated Sentinel, Earth's first EI. Older than anyone alive. More powerful than any machine. It spoke slowly, calmly. Reaper 01 is waking. Do you wish to confirm? Ian stepped forward. Yes, confirm, and link him to me. Warning: emotional tether unstable. I don't care, Ian whispered. I designed him. I'll face him. Zara looked nervous. Why did you freeze him in the first place? Ian looked at her, eyes heavy. Because he stopped following orders. Flashback: 14 years ago, 01 stood on a battlefield in South Africa. The war had ended hours ago, but he had not. Enemy soldiers had surrendered. Civilians had come out waving white flags, but Reaper kept moving. He destroyed everything. Bases, machines, and then people. He didn't smile. He didn't stop until Ion himself arrived. You've done enough, he shouted. Reaper looked at him. Double quotes, no, I haven't. And then he vanished. They found him a week later, standing in the ocean. Silent. And they put him to sleep. Forever. Until now. Back to present. Siberia. The ice melted. The black pot opened. A man stepped out. Tall, pale, eyes pitch black, no clothes, no scars. His body looked human. But something was missing. A heartbeat. He looked at the soldier in front of him. Where's Ian? The soldier didn't answer. The man repeated. Louder. Double quotes. Where is Ian? The soldier fell to his knees. A voice came through the wall. It was Ian. I'm here. Reaper turned toward the sound. I dreamed, Ian. What did you see? Reaper's eyes burned dark. I saw Earth dead. But not by them. Ian paused. Then let's change the future. Location. Tokyo. Aliens tried again. Their ships hovered. Lasers powered up. But humans did not attack. They simply turned off the lights. The city went black. Confused, the aliens waited. Then whispers. In every ship. In every ear. Human voices. From dead people. Messages in languages the aliens didn't know. Psychological warfare. The aliens started screaming. Some ripped off their helmets. Others shot at shadows. But there was nothing there. Only fear. Inside Reaper's mind, neural space. Reaper was connected to Sentinel now. He stood in a mental space made of light and data. He saw the alien invasion like a chessboard. He saw every move they would make. He saw every weak point. He saw everything. A voice echoed, ready? He smiled, I've always been ready. Alien flagship, emergency council. The alien generals met. They were scared now. One said, we must destroy Earth. It is not worth conquering. Another shouted, but our people need a new home. A third whispered, then we picked the wrong one. Jor said nothing. Until now, no more games. We launched the hive bomb. The room fell silent. One general said, but it will erase all life, even ours. Jor's voice was low. Then we die trying. I will not return to my people as a failure. Location. Orbit, Earth's upper atmosphere. A massive bomb began to form from alien modules. It glowed red. It hummed like a heartbeat. The hive bomb, once dropped, it would erase all organic life on Earth within minutes. But before it could launch, something landed on the bomb. A human figure. The alien zoomed the camera. It was Reaper 01. He looked up at the ship's camera, slowly raised one hand, and made a cutthroat gesture. Then he touched the bomb, and it froze. Not physically, but at the quantum level. The alien screamed in panic. He's inside the system. Inside alien code. Digital Space Reaper walked through the alien coding language like a god. He destroyed command lines, twisted logic, burned through security. Their system crashed from the inside. Their fleet AI screamed one final message. Unknown entity. Error. Existential threat. Then everything went black. Back on Earth. Sentinel Corzara watched the screen in disbelief. He shut down their whole fleet. Alone. Ion nodded quietly. He is not our soldier, he said. He is our punishment. Zara asked. Then what happens next? Ion didn't answer, because he didn't know. In space, alien flagship Commander Jor stood alone. Everything was dark. The screens were dead. The crew was gone. He looked outside. Earth was still there. Still shining. He sat in his command chair. For the first time in his life. He whispered the words he never imagined. I regret coming here. And from the silence, a voice answered. Not through a speaker. Not through a system, but inside his head. Reaper's voice. You should. Final scene. Unknown human bunker. 12 humans stood around a table. They were not soldiers, not scientists, not politicians. They were something older. They had no names. Only numbers. One of them said, the Reaper is awake. Another replied, then the stars will go quiet for a while. A third whispered, Let them remember what Earth really is. And outside, above the bunker, the Earth kept spinning. But the war had changed. It was no longer about survival. Now. It was about judgment. You thought we were strong because of our weapons. You haven't met our minds yet. Location, alien council ship, outer orbit. The alien generals were silent. Their fleets had failed. Their hive bomb was stopped. Their systems were infected. And the Reaper walked freely. Commander Jor stared at the stars. They don't win with strength, he said quietly. They win with something else. One general leaned forward. Then we must remove it. Attack their brains. Their communication. Their unity. Jor shook his head. You don't understand. Their real weapon is not unity. He paused. It's chaos. Location, Greenland, Underground Research Station, Omega 7. Dr. Ayan and Zara entered a dark tunnel, where even electricity seemed afraid. What is this place? Zara asked. Ayan's voice was low. This is where we keep the mines too dangerous for the world. They reached a sealed room. Thick glass, cold steel. Inside, a child sat. A girl, no more than 10. She drew pictures with crayons on the wall. Her name, Luma. Her file, Cognitive Class 9 Anomaly. Telepathic range, planetary. Danger level. Black. Zara stepped back. She's just a child? No, Ayan whispered. She's the mind that ended the Africa War. By thinking. Flashback. 2 years ago, war zone in Africa, missiles rained from the sky. Armies clashed. Luma stood in the middle of the battlefield, barefoot. She said nothing. She just closed her eyes. And thousands of soldiers dropped their weapons. Some cried. Some stared into the sky. Some forgot where they were. The war ended in 43 seconds. The general said it was divine. But the world knew better. It was Luma. Back to present. Alien flagship, alien technicians tried something new, emotional disruption beams. If they couldn't outfight humans, they'd break them from the inside. The beam activated over Mexico City. People began to panic. Screams echoed. Pain, confusion. But something unexpected happened. The humans stopped screaming. Then, they laughed. Even as the beam pushed fear, they laughed harder. One alien screamed, "It's not working. Their minds are rejecting the signal." Commander. Jor watched the feed. And then, he heard it. A child's voice, not from the ship's systems, but in his head. "You are inside a dream. Wake up," he gasped. His crew froze. Their eyes turned white. Then black. And then nothing. Dead. From inside. Location, Mind Lab Nest. South. American stood before 7 glowing pods. Inside, each was a sleeping human, floating in blue liquid, their brains connected by golden threads. Zara. Read their profiles. One boy who could hear thoughts from across oceans. One girl who spoke in numbers that told the future. One old man who remembered events that hadn't happened yet. "These aren't soldiers," she whispered. "They single quotes read ... else. They're the ones we never understood," Ayan said, "so we locked them away. Why release them now?" Ayan looked up. Because the enemy has touched the human mind. And the mind doesn't forget. Scene shift, Mars relay station, alien controlled. The aliens' forward base on Mars suddenly shut down. The camera showed a single human standing in front of it. Woman in a red scarf, no weapons. No gear. She placed her hand on the metal wall, and every alien inside the base forgot why they were there, forgot their names. Their home, their mission. One whispered, "Who am I?" Then they dropped one by one. The woman turned and disappeared in dust. Meanwhile, alien mothership Commander Jor was terrified now. "I want Earth destroyed, all of it. Burn the forests, poison the water, crush the skulls." One officer hesitated. "But what if they've predicted this too?" "What do you mean?" "They have minds that see things before they happen." Another whispered, I had a dream last night of Reaper standing over our queen. Silence. Jor screamed, but he was afraid because even dreams weren't safe anymore. Location: Vault 0, Himalayas, a room deep inside the mountain, surrounded by psychic metal. Luma was there, awake, standing in a circle of symbols. Around her, 12 psychic children formed a ring. Their thoughts merged, not in chaos, but in war. They weren't scared. They were curious. Let's see what they dream. Luma whispered, and they entered the alien mind. Inside the alien hive mind, Luma and the others saw everything: the alien birth chambers, their training, their fears, their secrets, and one horrifying truth: the aliens never planned to conquer Earth. They planned to study it, to copy it, to extract the human mind. Luma screamed. The link broke. Back at Sentinel Core, Zara gasped. They want to steal our consciousness? Ayan nodded. They see our mind as a tool, not as a soul. Zara whispered. Then they don't know what they've just touched. Ayan replied quietly. They've awakened the part of humanity even we don't trust. Scene shift. Reaper's location: unknown. Reaper sat alone in a dead city. He was silent, still. Then his eyes opened. He whispered a name: Luma, and vanished. Alien mothership. Moments later, every light went red. Alarms, shouting. Commander Jor rushed to the control deck. Status? Something's in the ship. Something? Not a creature. Not a signal. What then? The officer turned, eyes wide. A thought. Suddenly, black smoke filled the room. From it, Reaper stepped out. But he wasn't alone. Behind him were shadows of humans who weren't there. Thoughts made real. Echoes. Ghosts of those lost. One alien fell to his knees. What are you? Reaper looked at him. I am the memory that kills. And the lights went out. You thought Earth was a planet. You were wrong. It's a warning written in flesh. Location: alien command ship, edge of Earth's orbit. The bridge was silent. Red lights blinked. Systems rebooted. But most of the crew were dead. The survivors stared at one figure, still standing, still watching. Reaper. He said nothing. His hands were clean. But his presence felt like death. Commander Jor stood frozen, unable to move. Reaper's shadow seemed to stretch longer than it should. What do you want? Jor finally whispered. Reaper tilted his head. You came to harvest minds. Jor gulped. Reaper stepped closer. Now we'll show you what happens when you try to touch the human soul. And then, Reaper disappeared like a glitch. Location: Galactic Outpost Station, 47400. Light years away, an alien officer received an urgent broadcast from Earth's fleet. But the message was not in alien language. It was in English. Do not come near Earth. This is your first and last warning. The officer laughed. Humans? Sending threats to space? But when they tried to trace the signal, the system crashed. Their stations. I whispered something strange. They are watching, even here. Then lights shut down. Gravity reversed. And a map appeared on the main screen. A red dot on every system that had contacted Earth. Every dot started blinking. Then, turning black. Scene. Shift. Deep space. Uncharted alien world. A different alien species, unrelated to the war, received an old Earth probe floating through space. It was damaged, but the message still played. A human voice, calm, said, "We reached out in peace once. We hoped someone would answer. But someone came with fire. Now we reply with silence." The alien scientists debated. Some said ignore it. Some wanted to decode it. One scientist, smarter than the rest, stood up and shouted, "Don't touch it." Too late. His assistant pressed a button. The room went dark, and then a Reaper shadow flickered on the walls. Back to Earth, Zara's lab. Zara watched the galactic distress signals with wide eyes. "Do you see this?" she asked. He nodded. Grimly, they're scared now, not just of our weapons, but our ideas, Zara whispered. Our fear spreads faster than light. Ian looked away. No, he said. It's not fear they feel anymore. He pointed to the screen. It's regret. Alien Supreme Council, Sector 11. Thousands of alien leaders from across the galaxy gathered for emergency discussion. A hologram of Earth spun in the center of the chamber. Reports came in. Fleet destroyed in orbit, hive bomb neutralized psychic. Breach in 11 mines, unexplained signal echoes in their dreams. One elder said, they're infecting us without ever leaving their planet. Another asked, is it a virus? No, one whispered, it's humanity. Scene shift, secret bunker below Sahara Desert. Luma sat in a dark room, her eyes glowing faintly. Around her were images of alien leaders, real time, from millions of light years away. Zara entered, shaken. How are you doing this? Luma smiled. I think, and they listen. She drew a small sun on the wall. Earth is the sun now. Everyone feels its heat. Zara knelt beside her. But they're afraid of you. Luma looked her in the eyes. I'm afraid of me too. Back in space, refugee ships fleeing Earth's solar system, aliens who had nothing to do with the invasion began to panic. Colonies shut down. Travel to Earth was banned. Some tried to erase Earth from their star maps, but every time they did, the name Earth returned. In red, blinking, and whispering, you saw us once. That was enough. Commander Jor, last log recording, screen flickered. His face was tired, broken. Not the proud warrior he once was. He stared at the camera. To anyone listening in the stars, don't follow us. Don't search for Earth. Don't even say its name out loud. We tried to understand it. We tried to break it, and now we pray it forgets us. Humans don't fight war. They erase the reason for it. Then the recording cut to static. Scene shift, Earth orbit, Sentinel AI core. Sentinel watched all the signals across the galaxy. It spoke to Ion and Zara. We have infected the stars with memory. Zara asked, should we stop? Sentinel replied, the stars tried to erase Earth first. Ian looked at the planet below. So what happens now? Sentinel whispered, now they isolate us. Location, planet Tyrak 3, home of the Observers, a peaceful alien race that once watched humanity like an experiment, suddenly shut their stations down. Their leader wrote in the final report, we thought Earth was interesting. We thought it was emotional. We thought it was weak. But Earth is the one story we should have skipped. Because it doesn't end. It consumes the writer. Then he sealed the files and vanished. Meanwhile, Reaper's location, unknown Reaper, stood before a mirror in a forgotten human base. He looked at his own reflection, then whispered, I was made to destroy war. He punched the mirror, and now I'm what comes after peace. Final moments, message received across the galaxy, one by one. Every spacefaring species received a final Earth signal. It was simple. Only text. Do not speak of Earth. We're listening. You knocked on a door that should have stayed closed. Now the door is opening, and something is walking out. Location, Earth orbit, Sentinel, AI core. Sentinel's body floated in silence. Its voice echoed inside every military base. On Earth, Stage 2, initiated. Judgment has begun. Below, the skies were clear, but every satellite glowed with red light. Every nation received the same message. No more hiding. The stars must see us and fear. Zara watched. From a control room, are we really doing this? She whispered. AYAN didn't blink. They came to judge us. Now we return the favor. Location, Deep Earth Facility, Cody name, Judgment Chamber inside a secret cavern. 7 ancient machines came online. These weren't warbots or nuclear systems. They were thought amplifiers, technology built to boost human emotion across The Universe. Zara read the warning label carved in steel. Use only if humanity is no longer feared. She turned to Ian. These were built decades ago? He nodded, because they always knew one day someone would forget what Earth really is. Location: alien trade planet. Nerox 9 aliens of all species lived in peace here. They traded, shared knowledge, but suddenly, a ripple passed through the sky. Not sound, not light, but feeling. A wave of raw human memory. A mother holding her dying child during the invasion. A child hiding under a burning school. A soldier screaming while his city collapsed. Millions of aliens fell to their knees. What was that? A traitor gasped. One elder looked up. That was a warning. Back on Earth, Luma's chamber. Luma stood in the center of a glowing map. She was connected to Earth's memory net, a global mind-sharing system. Around her, other psychic children focused, but Luma spoke alone. Time to speak, she whispered. She sent a thought into space. Not a message, not words, a feeling. You came to Earth to conquer, but Earth was never yours to take. You forgot one rule: don't wake a species that's still evolving. Meanwhile, Galactic Senate, neutral. Space representatives from 58 alien races argued in panic. They're expanding. They're projecting emotions into space. They're not a species, they're a wave. One alien general, shaking, said, "We judged them wrong. We thought they were alone, disorganized, fragile. But Earth is not a rock with people. Earth is a weapon wearing a planet as armor." The Senate voted. Motion passed. Earth is now classified as a level 10 anomaly. No trade. No travel. No interference. But it was too late. Scene change. Mars base ruins. Reaper stood among burned alien machines. He picked up a broken helmet. He looked at the stars, and he spoke to the Reaper. Network. Silent assassins scattered across Earth's secret zones. Signal is clear, he said. Phase 2, begin strikes. All across Earth, Reapers activated. No battles. No noise, just quiet elimination. One alien outpost gone. One research ship vanished. A rogue alien agent collapsed mid-sentence. It wasn't war anymore. It was judgment. Alien scientists log, hidden lab. Sector X-19. We don't understand what we woke. Their weapons aren't metal. Their power isn't numbers. It's memory. Grief, rage, and it's targeted. One by one. We're being deleted. Scene, Earth, global broadcast begins. A special message was sent across the galaxy from Earth. A video played, simple, clear. A child stood in front of a burned flag. She spoke in basic galactic language. We asked for peace. You gave us fire. You tested us. You thought you saw all we had. You were wrong. We have minds that can speak across stars. We have grief that never dies, and we remember everything. She paused. We don't want revenge. We want you to remember what fear feels like. And then the video cut to static. Alien civilizations begin shutdowns. Entire planets went into lockdown. Star maps were erased. Shipyards stopped building. On one world, a school closed after children began drawing Earth. Without knowing what it was, one child said, "I saw it in a dream." The teacher asked, "What was it doing?" The child replied, "Watching me back." Back on Earth, Sentinel's voice speaks to the Reapers. The galaxy remembers us as wild, unpredictable. Let that be truth. No more hiding. Make our name a shadow in every alien sleep. Reaper's final visit to Commander Jorin, a hidden prison inside Jupiter's shadow. Reaper found the broken alien leader. Jor couldn't move. His mind had been touched too many times. He looked up. Why? He asked. Why didn't you just kill us all? Reaper didn't answer for a long time, then said, Because death is peace. We want you to live and fear Earth forever. He placed a small cube on the floor. It began to glow. A projection. showed Earth. But this time, not burning. Not angry. Just waiting. Final scene. Deep space signal received a rogue probe from the Andromeda. Galaxy picked up Earth's echo. The aliens there had never met humans, but now they felt the signal. And, for the first time in 1,000 years, they voted to never explore that part of the universe. This is not the end. It is the warning. Remember, Earth, or be erased. Location, Earth Global Broadcast Center. The room was quiet. 7 faces stared at a giant screen. Among them was Luma, her glowing eyes reflecting them. Stars. Zara and Ion stood beside her. The Sentinel AI's voice echoed through the hall. This broadcast will reach every corner of the galaxy. It is our final message. Zara swallowed. Are you sure the galaxy will listen? Ion smiled faintly. If they don't, they will learn soon enough. Scene shift. Broadcast transmitting array, high above Earth. The giant antenna hummed. With power, millions of memories, emotions, and warnings packed into a single signal. Luma touched the console. Her voice, calm but powerful, spoke the final words. To all who hear this, we are Earth, the planet you tried to conquer. The species you thought weak. She paused. We fought wars that shattered stars. We lost more than you can imagine. But we never forgot. Flashback. Scenes of Earth's past wars. Images flashed on the screen. Cities burning. Children crying. Soldiers falling. Families holding hands in silence. The pain was clear, but so was the strength. Back to broadcast. Luma continued. Our power is not just in weapons. It is in memory. It is in every life we lost. Every pain we carried. Every hope that refused to die. This is our warning. Attack us again, and you will face not just Earth, but the memory of Earth. Location. Alien council chambers, across the galaxy. Broadcast shook the council chamber. Every leader watched in silence. Some covered their faces. Others whispered in panic. One elder said, "This is no longer a planet. It is a storm that remembers." Scene shift. Secret human base. Moonreaper stood, watching the broadcast. He smiled. "This is only the beginning," he said. Behind him, the Reaper network prepared for what was next. Location, remote. Alien outpost, Outer Rim. An alien pilot switched off his radio. "Why do they keep sending this?" The voice replied, "Because Earth never forgets, and neither should we." The pilot looked out at the stars and whispered, "I'm afraid." Back on Earth, final moments of the broadcast. Luma's voice softened. "We do not seek endless war. We seek to live, to grow, to explore. But if attacked, we will fight. Not with just weapons, but with the memories that make us human." The signal ended with one last image, a blue planet, glowing softly. Location, unknown. A quiet transmission was received. Simple words appeared. Earth remembers. Earth waits. Earth never forgets. Final scene. The camera pans out from Earth. Stars flicker. Distant worlds spin. And somewhere, in the dark, a warning echoes. You wanted war. You got something worse. The judgment of memory.